Has anyone ever wondered why Carlisle truly left the Volturi? Actually, I question why he joined them in the first place, given their differences. It appears as if he had absolutely nothing in common with them whatsoever, but join them he did, and apart from their protection, he also did. In today's video, I want to take a look at all of the reasons as to why he wanted to leave, and most importantly, why Carlisle was allowed to leave, as the Volturi don't take too kindly to their members departing their coven. Carlisle is a pretty cool guy. He is. He's a caring, loving, adoptive father to his family. He loves every member of the coven as if they were his own, and he'd do pretty much anything to protect them. His human practice is obviously a doctor, and he chose this career in order to train himself to be literally non-respondent to the sight and smell of human blood, something that troubles all vampires. His restraint is nothing short of incredible, being able to remain calm with human blood even on his hands physically. It's due to this restraint that he's able to teach his coven members to practice the same method, though some struggle more than others, in particular Jasper and Edward. Before he founded his own coven, Carlisle travelled the world before encountering the Volturi. However, the Volturi are cold, ruthless vampires who consider humans as nothing more than food and show them no mercy. Arrow, the frontman or the spokesman for the Volturi, cares only about strengthening his coven. He's a rather cold, unforgiving vampire who, along with Caius and Marcus, do not, under any circumstances, offer second chances to vampires who break their laws. The Volturi were quite disassociated with humans while Carlisle was not. He was kind and compassionate. He understood that humans were creatures too, just like vampires, and should not be slaughtered for food. Because of these reasons, he chose not to feed on them, resulting in him consuming animal blood instead. He didn't agree with the Volturi's methods, and it only took the lightest of touches from Arrow to see that, so it's not something he could hide. Yet, he lived with them for a couple of decades and they with him. The question is, why? What did he bring to the table, and what did the Volturi do for him? Well, let's take a look. Carlisle doesn't exactly have a supernatural gift like Arrow with his mind reading or Alice with her ability to predict the future. It can be argued that his overwhelming compassion for life and his ability to refrain from going into a frenzy around human blood was a gift within itself. Therefore, I believe that the Volturi allowed him into the ranks because of that, because they were so disassociated with humans, because they had no relationships whatsoever with them, that maybe Carlisle could help them improve on that. It might not be something they want to do there and then, not right now, but Arrow always liked having the option to make a change if he chose to do so, and if the day ever came where vampires would need to create some sort of a relationship with humans, say an unavoidable war or cataclysmic event, then Arrow could call upon Carlisle to initiate contact under peaceful terms. Well, that's what I think anyway. The next question is, why would Carlisle even want to join a coven that he shared no interest with? Well, we just have to look at Carlisle's current situation to answer that. He has the second largest coven behind the Volturi. He has a wife and adoptive children. He protects them, he loves them. Carlisle has a sense of belonging with the Olympic Coven, something he may not have had at the time of initially aligning himself with the Volturi. Now, the Volturi were the largest coven of the time, with a collection of vampires, and this could be why Carlisle wanted to join them, to be with more of his own kind. You see, covens were rare at that time, and they're still rare today, as vampires could not be around each other for long periods of time due to their bloodlust causing infighting while hunting, so Carlisle was probably on his own for quite some time. So join them he did, and stay with them he did for several decades also. Now, you may notice in the Twilight movie that he was in the portrait with the three leaders of the Volturi, indicating he had quite a high-ranking role within the coven. Again, this isn't confirmed, but it's what I take from the painting anyway. He eventually grew tired of the Volturi's behaviour towards humans and decided it was time to leave, to build a life for himself based on compassion and morals. Surprisingly, Arrow allowed him to leave without any consequence. In case you're wondering why that would seem strange, well, Arrow doesn't allow weak points to be exposed within the Volturi, which normally happens when valuable members or valuable assets depart the coven. You just have to look at what he did to his own sister Didnt when she tried to leave with her incredibly powerful husband Marcus. Now, I made a full detailed video on that if you want to take a look, but to sum it up, Didnt and Marcus informed the Volturi of their wish to depart the coven. Arrow wished them well to their face. He then killed Didnt in an attempt to get Marcus to stay. He used Chelsea's power of loyalty to force Marcus to remain within the coven, resulting in Marcus becoming an empty shell of a vampire, basically non-existent, desperate to die. So that's the lengths Arrow goes to in order to keep the Volturi strong. So what was the deal with Carlisle? Why was he allowed to leave? Well, Carlisle was considered a valuable asset and Arrow did not wish for him to leave. But although considered valuable, Carlisle was not considered irreplaceable like Marcus. He had no supernatural gift, and his refusal to feed on humans in addition to his compassion for them was thought of as not exactly needed within the Volturi ranks at that time, despite Carlisle's strength and fighting abilities being far above average. Therefore, he would be allowed to leave, but make no mistake, he would indeed be watched in order to discover if he had any out of the ordinary plans. You can imagine Arrow's growing unease as he watched Carlisle add member after member to his coven, which quickly caught his attention. The issue with Arrow is, he really does need thorough, probable cause for taking action, and Carlisle had very solid reasons for turning Edward, Rosalie, Emmett into vampires or for taking Jasper and Alice in. It was all done through compassion, and nobody knew that more than Arrow. He knew that Carlisle had no intention of threatening the Volturi with his own coven, but what he didn't like was other covens taking notice of the Olympic coven's growth, which in turn could make the Volturi look and appear vulnerable for allowing a coven to grow so large. Arrow was all about keeping face, making sure the Volturi appeared flawless as a governing body. To allow Carlisle's coven to grow could mean that other covens could follow suit, and before the Volturi knew it, they would actually be under threat. That's not going to happen whatsoever, and Arrow knew that, but he would use that reasoning to destroy the Cullens in order to acquire their greatest asset, Alice. I think, had Arrow known that Carlisle was going to go on and collect such an array of talented, gifted vampires for his own coven, then he would have never let him leave. He'd have done exactly what he did to his sister Didnt, allow Carlisle to leave under false pretenses, and strike a killing blow while his back was turned. However, he did let him leave, and now you all know why Carlisle joined the Volturi and why he left, which concludes today's video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Please comment down below what videos you want to see next. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all for the next one.